So I would fall over and fail at this because I didn't start where I started. The only thing I'd tell myself is to not waste 2 years playing trendy games. No, like stop playing trendy games. Just don't do it. It's flooded. It's saturated. Anything else. Anything else.
G'day creators. In today's episode, I'm interviewing Jawoodle, who is a full-time content creator who has been in the game for a while, and he has recently just reached 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Primarily, he is a 7 Days to Die streamer. However, he does dabble in other areas, and he also streams on Twitch occasionally as well. We chat about how YouTube has affected his content throughout his journey and throughout his career, and how he's had to change and adapt to suit. And before we begin, if you have been enjoying what I've been doing with the Creator Dashboard, and you want to see me interview some more amazing creators and share their knowledge, subscribe to the Creator Dashboard. So let's get into it.
How much has YouTube changed from when you first started, and how are you finding the experience nowadays?
YouTube changes every 6 months. Very noticeably changes every 6 months. And sometimes it's something as minor as the algorithm will change. It will push different stuff and everyone clambers to find what the new thing is. But just it's the same thing that happened with the music industry. Not to make another music analogy, but in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, right? You had to have a record contract, a recording contract with a company to pay for studio time to make your music. So the barrier was getting access to make music. It wasn't whether you had talent, it was whether you could get the money to pay for the exposure.
Yeah, right.
And then home recording stuff became more prevalent. You can make music anywhere now. You don't need instruments anymore. You can make it all digitally. So the barrier stopped being access, and then it became exposure, because now everyone can make music. So only stuff that gets exposed to enough people and is liked by enough people gets to the top.
Yeah.
Close enough to a meritocracy, probably, maybe. I don't think too much about it. But that is, in my mind, what YouTube is doing now. In 2007, 2008, actually, I remember the early days of Achievement Hunter. Do you ever watch Achievement Hunter?
Yep. Yeah, I used to watch every bloody Halo fails of the week. I watched every single episode. That was my shit. And then obviously there was Red versus Blue and all that stuff.
What's up, guys? It's Jack from AchievementHunter.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the same. Dude, I loved that shit. I remember at one point on the RT podcast, Bernie was talking to Gavin. If you don't know what RT is at this point, this is going to sound real bloody stupid. But Bernie asked Gavin...
Rooster Teeth for those at home.
Yeah. And these guys, two of the main guys on it. What makes your Minecraft videos, because Minecraft's a hot ticket at the moment, what makes them different from everyone else? Because anyone can get a capture card. Anyone can record the game. What makes you different from everyone else who can do that? And the answer was, basically the chemistry amongst the cast that were making the videos. Like, there were a bunch of friends all making videos, and that's what drew me in. That's what drew everyone in. So that, like, the differentiating factor isn't the game anymore. So the barrier for entry is no longer, can I record gameplay? The barrier for entry is now the talent, same as what the music industry did. So if you have that special something, then that is what's going to make it stand out. So that's kind of like, that's how YouTube has changed now. Back then, if you could just put videos out at all, you got traction, because there's nothing else out there. Like Jacksepticeye used to upload 2 videos a day every day for years, just power uploading all the time, and just got himself in front of so many eyeballs that, I mean, he's also very good. That's a massive part of it.
Good combination.
Yeah, it helps. That massive drive, but also that talent made him very successful. But now it's the market is flooded. Yeah. There's Twitch is inundated with 3 viewer streams and less. YouTube is, I mean, what's the stat? Like 3 years of content gets uploaded to YouTube every second, or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yes. Right. How do you stick your head up above that? Like, how do you get out of that? And what seems to be the answer is you find a niche and you make yourself stand out. Because
that niche.
One of my mates started. I'm just rambling at this point, so I hope you're ready to start.
That's what this is all about, you know.
Oh, good. This is my platform. You can listen to me. Now, one of my mates wanted to just started picking up Twitch streaming. I was already doing Jawoodle stuff. So he's asking me, like, what's all this about and that. And I was like, look, if you want to do it, just go do it. So he started streaming Fortnite. He did a few streams of Fortnite. Obviously, no traction, no nothing at all. I don't want to out him for who this person is, but there was another game, a much more niche game that he played off camera all the time. He loved it. He lived in that game. He knew everything about it. That was his downtime game. That was what he was good at. And I was like, dude, what are you doing streaming Fortnite? You're not going to get viewers away from. You're going to be on the 16,000th page of Fortnite streams.
There's a lot of people playing Fortnite right now.
Yeah, what are you doing? That is not where anyone's going to find you. You love this other game. You're good at this other game. Stream that game. It's instead of competing with 8 million people, compete with 100. You don't need to be the top of the biggest field. You just need to be the medium of a medium field. So he started streaming this other game. And like maybe a week later, something happened where he did something cool. Someone clipped it. It got sent to a highlight show from someone bigger, and it got put into a highlight reel on YouTube. Then, like 2 weeks later, he had 50 viewers.
Oh, that's great.
So, you need to find your audience, and your audience is you are not a big enough fish to play a big game on release. You're just not. I'm not. Like most people aren't. Because if you're going to wade into a new game, the bloody Markiplier is playing. Good luck. It's never going to happen. You got to find that smaller niche that suits you, that you can make an impact on, and then you can bounce that. So obviously, I got my following through 7 Days to Die, which I love, and I still play, and will probably be playing until my knees
you die.
Yep. I'll be in the nursing home, man. I'll still have my purple lights. My voice will be blown. I'll have my controller strapped to my walker thing, and it'll be great. It'll be great. But no, like, so I have my following through 7 Days to Die, and I'm starting now to get to the point where occasionally, not often, but occasionally, I can delve into other things. I can try other things just to see how it's going to go. I was playing Fallout not long ago, and
you're saying that this would apply to both Twitch and YouTube, really?
Well, yeah, I assume so. I can only speak to the YouTube side, but the problem I think with Twitch is going to be if not on the front page, you don't exist. The only way people are going to find lower viewer streams on the second page or whatever is if they're actively in that mindset of I'm going to go find someone who's streaming to no one and go and throw them a bone or whatever.
Yeah.
No one's scrolling that far to find content to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the age ranging of your podcast?
Oh no, it's we're all adults here.
All right. Well, if you go to the Spicy Black and Orange site, you're not scrolling through 16 pages, are you? You're not there for that amount of time. You're here. You're going to find something to watch, and you're going to move on with your life.
Yeah, I mean, if you're scrolling that far, you've got issues.
At that point, you know what things to type into the search bar if you're scrolling that far. But Twitch works the same way. You're just not going to invest that amount of time. We've all got such limited free time. You're not going to sit there for 15 minutes scrolling to find someone who's streaming to 2 people. You're just going to pick one of the top 10. You're just going to.
Yeah.
So,
as a viewer, yeah.
Yeah. So until you have the audience to get you there, then you're relying on things. For the love of God, don't promote yourself in other people's chat. For the love of God, do not do that. I don't care how sly you think you're being. You are obvious as shit, and everyone is onto you, and no one is going to come watch your stream. Don't do that. But go to other streams and be a part of their community. Be a valuable member of another person's community, so you get the name recognition. So then when you go streaming, someone goes, "Oh, I've seen that person in such and such a stream. They seemed really cool," so they'll drop in.
Yep.
You make progress on Twitch by the looks of things. You make progress on Twitch by just being a decent person, which it shouldn't be that hard, right?
No, well, shouldn't be.
That's
we're digressing a little bit to Twitch. We're meant to be talking about YouTube.
Sorry.
Sorry.
This is what the marketers do.
It's a hot topic.
I'm trying to push it them all the same, and they're trying to separate them again.
But yeah, no, it has changed a lot. I mean, I tried getting into YouTube back when PewDiePie was big, 2011, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, I want to be a YouTuber, and I like playing games, and I want to share these games with people, and it was a hard slog. I was plagued with bad internet and not the right software, and knowledge. So that's why I kind of limited me. It would take me to upload like a 15-minute video. It would take me like 2 days to upload it.
We've been there, man. I've been there.
Couldn't do it. So it wasn't until the last few years that I've actually gotten back into the content side of things.
On that point, I mean, Australia is the stone age of the internet. We all know this.
Yeah.
When I started uploading videos, the only reason I know what bit rates are and
Yeah.
like how to adjust renders is because I had to make my videos less than 2 gigabytes because I was uploading on a 0.08 megabits per second. This is still what I was doing everyday videos at this point.
Yeah.
Still,
Wow.
so
yeah.
less than 2 gigabytes. It would take 11.5 hours to upload.
Wow. Holy shit.
So my computer never turned off. It was always either recording or uploading, sometimes at the same time.
Yeah.
So I didn't have any margin for error ever. Now, obviously, it's much better, and I can up my render bit rates. I can, my bit rate for renderings now are set to 50, which is the maximum that I can render. Before it was like I don't know, I think it was like 2, something ridiculous. The footage was fuzzy.
Yeah.
It didn't look good. Which actually, quick little side notes from my years of having to edit shit and watch shit. If you have to choose between good audio and good video, pick good audio every day of the week. People will sit through trash video if the audio sounds good. They will not sit through good video if the audio sounds rubbish. So if you have to choose one, pick audio. Always pick audio.
That makes me worried about the last couple of episodes I recorded where my mic was not good.
All right. Well, this is going to be the last time I'm on this podcast. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
No, I think so far it's been good. It hasn't dropped out yet, so we're looking pretty good.
No, yeah.
I think the state of YouTube has changed significantly, like what people are used to and I think everyone's taste has become so refined, like from what it was, because like, compilation videos were like the big thing back in 2011.
Oh, yeah. Remember the COD montages?
That was where it was all at, and now it's like that's not even a thing. It's completely changed. It's all narrative based now because everyone's trying to be like they're just doing that better content.
The talents of production is ridiculous. Like what passes for normal YouTube content now is like massive production budgets 5 years ago. I love golf. I'm shit at golf, but I love golf. Watch a bunch of golf YouTube. These guys are out playing golf with squads of cameramen and audio guys and like all. I'm like, dude, this is like a 20-person production.
Yeah.
YouTube is not. I mean, it is for me, but like YouTube is not some muppet sitting in their bedroom with a camera anymore with 14 pixels that make up their face and a microphone in the next room. Like the production needed to stand out on YouTube is so much higher, but I absolutely still think there's a place for regular people with not high budgets. If you make something special, people will like it. It doesn't matter what kind of quality it's filmed on. It's the quality of the content, not the quality of the camera that makes the difference.
And what you're kind of offering to your audience, really.
Yeah.
I mean, and on your with video and stuff, a lot of YouTubers, like myself included, I don't even have video in my latest YouTube videos because I felt like it wasn't needed. I just have a good mic and that's it.
Yeah.
So like you don't even need that. You just provide good entertaining content and away you go. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot has changed, but I guess it comes down to what kind of content you're providing and making sure that, because it's not like you said before, back in the day, you could just post up a video and it was like the only form of entertaining content that was on YouTube. Like it was the compilation videos, but now it's like, as long as you're providing something that's kind of separating yourself from everyone else and it's entertaining, it's providing some kind of value, then it's probably going to do a bit better. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to hijack your podcast because I just thought of something that I want to talk about. So I know you're supposed to be the host.
No, go for it. So,
I'm going to flat out ignore you. You were talking about, you don't have video in your, you don't have your face cam in your videos or, that kind of thing. We mentioned earlier that I absolutely have YouTuber thumbnails. I have the stupid face with the stupid expressions. So the reason that I did that is because that is talk about these differentiating factors. That is a differentiating factor between me and the other guys who are making 7 days content. Of the big 4 or 5, I'm not sure where on that list I fall, but of the ones who are known for making 7 days content, I'm the only one who has a face cam.
Yep.
Which has all the negative connotations. I get comments calling me obnoxious and arrogant and, oh, how much do you think of yourself to put your face? Get rid of your face. I want to see the gameplay when it's like this big in the top corner. Because, having a face cam and content is such a wild idea to these guys. But I'm the only one doing that. So if why wouldn't I advertise that in the thumbnail? So then you would look at the thumbnail, you can see my face, you know it's a Jawoodle video instantaneously. You don't have to
It's
read
part
the
of the
title.
branding almost, yeah.
Yeah, there's no second thoughts of, is that someone else's video? Whose video is that? Maybe maybe I might click on it. You know it's me. You know what you're going to get. And because I'm the way I am, because I am this ridiculous mishmash of energy and overreaction and just being, I remember remember Furbies? I'm basically a Furby that's gone wrong, and there's no off switch anymore, and I'm just kind of bouncing around and fluttering my eyes and shit. So that's already what I'm like in the videos. So if you're this is where I think it's actually really a smart move. If you're already put off by this, whatever this is, then I don't want you to click my video, because you're going to click off it straight away anyway. If you're not up for this, there's plenty of other content for you to go and watch. So I didn't see any downside in leaning further into not being like everyone else.
Yep.
Because I'm not like everyone else. If you're okay with stupid YouTuber face thumbnails, then you're gonna be okay with my face being in the video, and you're gonna be okay with everything else.
It's like screening people out for what they're interested in anyway.
Yeah. And I thought it was going to take a bit of a hit on click-through rates, which obviously is YouTube will show your thumbnail. Like when people scroll their homepage, your video will go past, and that counts as an impression. Yep. So your click-through rate is how many people click on your video when it's showed to them, if for those of you who aren't aware. So my click-through rates, I thought, were going to suffer because more people are going to be like, oh no, like excited person in thumbnail. That's not the content I want to watch.
YouTube face.
Well, especially in the 7 Days to Die category.
Yeah.
Not okay, I'm the only one like me. And I'm hated in corners of this community because I have the personality slightly larger than a teaspoon. Which is totally fine. I'm not here to appeal to everyone. I'm here to appeal to the people who are up for this ride.
Yeah.
So I thought my click-through rates were going to suffer, but it turns out they actually improved because I remember I remember it very clearly. It was one of the Fallout videos. Someone commented on a video from like 3 weeks late from when the video came out.
Yep.
And they were like, holy shit, I didn't know this was you. Like, I didn't know this video was a Jawoodle video. And this is just when I was kind of like on like a seesaw between do I, don't I? And that was the thing that pushed me over the edge, because I was like, well, if my face was in the thumbnail, you would have known this was a Jawoodle video. There would never have been a doubt, and you would have watched this content 3 weeks ago. And if you would have, thousands of other people might have as well, and the video would have done better.
So you potentially missed some,
Yeah, exactly. So if there's ever any element of doubt that I didn't even realize was there, then I should change that and remove the element of doubt.
Yeah.
So I'll put my face in it, and I may look like an idiot, and people will call me a tool and arrogant and whatever they want to call me.
But there's a method to it. There was a reason.
There's a reason that I do this, and more importantly, fuck them.
So in my videos, so I used to do face cam videos and stuff, and I never really had that much traction. But the way my new style of videos was, it's narrated. So I basically like record the gameplay, and then I basically I write a script based on what I've done. And I kind of recap it, and then I read that script through. And, these are like 45-minute videos. And so I found it very hard to keep my face in it. But at the same time, I was asking myself, I'm just reading a script back. Do they need to see my face while I'm reading the script back? So that was part of the reason. So in the intro, I've actually included my face in a couple of the intros because it's like relevant to how the intro went. But beyond that, it's like, I don't need my face because I'm just kind of reading a script and I'm narrating what I'm doing anyway. So it's, I guess the form of content doesn't suit having my face in it and having the YouTuber face, because it's just not, my reactions aren't relevant.
I respectfully and somewhat disrespectfully disagree. I'm of a certain state of mind, but I know the content that I enjoy watching. I know what appeals to me. Absolutely. If you're there and you have a setup like you've got nice lights, got nice backdrop, you've invested in your office, show it. There are so many, interesting facts about history channels where it's just a guy in a cool setting talking to me. Just talk to me. Just tell me the things that you want me to know. With everything that's going on in my head, I engage and I'm drawn in so much more by looking at someone's face than I'm ever going to be with just text on the screen. Now, you can cut away and have, text going by, still images of the subject you're talking about or whatever. Like you can have cuts, but I won't get invested in a video if it's just text. I will get invested if it's just someone's face. Talk to me. Just like this. I'm talking to you now. Just talk to me. Tell me cool things. Tell me things you want me to know.
Okay.
Mold my brain.
I'll take that on, and maybe for my next video I might try to include it.
All right. Well, when you reach 1 million subs, I'm gonna need both a shout out and a cut of the revenue, please and thank you.
All right, maybe one day. Okay, so you do a lot of like 7 Days to Die content. Have you ever branched from 7 Days to Die?
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned it before, but
yeah.
earlier in your career, like when you in that 7 Days to Die, like how have you found that experience?
Oh, so before I did 7 Days to Die, so I've been a YouTuber longer than I've been playing 7 Days to Die. But when I started, as I was saying, I didn't know why I liked it. I just knew that I liked making content. I was off work at the time. I'd been hurt on the job, so my fingers all like crooked. It's all like bowed up. Got my hand crushed, severed tendons, off work for surgeries. It was awful.
Ouch.
But yeah, it sucked. Don't do that.
Yeah, I actually. So I'm a diesel fitter by trade, and I nearly lost my hand. Taking a final drive off a dump truck.
Yep.
Pulled the trigger of the rattle gun. And this was like a 1-inch drive, and it pulled out the bolt, pinned my hand to the other side, and because it was pinned, I couldn't let go of the trigger, so it was like just keep pushing it. And had the bolt had more to come out, my hand would have like been squished.
Yeah, wow. Something I would never think about that. Yeah. There you go. Turns out you should be safe at work. Listen to your workplace safety trainings. Pay attention for God's sake.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Anyway, so I was off work because I fucked my hand up. So I'm sitting there doing nothing. I was already making content, but that was the time when all I had to focus on was content, and that's when it like made sense in my head that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do it. I just didn't know how to do it. I was wading into a world that I had no idea about, which is I assume the audience that you're aiming this stuff at, the people who were like me back then.
Yep.
So I didn't know to find a niche and to focus on that. I was just like, I'll just play anything. I'll play anything. You know, surely just making content will be good enough, right? And this is 2000.
Well, that was
17, I think it was.
And that was the mindset that everyone had back in 2012, or like maybe a bit earlier when PewDiePie was just going, I'm playing everything. And it worked because there was nobody else doing that. But
exactly. So I still had
5 years.
I had a mindset that was out of date by a long way. So of course I got nowhere. I think in the first 4 years, I think I got 1,500 subs, which is still nothing to sneeze at, but that's not a great return ratio.
1,500.
Yeah, so 1,500 over 4 years. I remember very specifically being excited if a video got 300 views in the first hour, because that meant 5 views every minute. And that was outrageously good for me. I made 100 and something episodes of AFL Evolution, which is an absolute ass tit of a game. It's god awful, but yeah, it's terrible.
I've seen that game, and I agree. Like, why?
Yeah, I played. Speaking of burnout, I played that for ages purely because it got a couple of 100 views, and for a channel that was getting 6 views, 8 views, 10 views, maybe 20, getting a couple of 100 was ridiculous. Yeah. So of course I followed the numbers, and I went through with that. Hated it. The last of those videos that I made, I'm actively telling the camera how fucking miserable I am. I'm not having a good time. So I was just playing anything that I thought might work. I'd go through Google Trends. I would see what games were coming up that were trending, what was on sale on Steam. I'd try and find any point of difference, anything that was going to point more people towards my channel. Now, unfortunately, my channel was also terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. I was very squeaky, very just, I said fuck every 3 seconds because I was, hey, it's cool to say fuck. I didn't know, I hadn't built this. I hadn't built my person to be the YouTube character underneath. Yeah. So I had to figure it all out first. And thank God I didn't get the traction I got for 7 days too early, because I would have not handled it well at all.
Yeah.
But eventually, a new update for 7 Days to Die was coming out. It's Alpha 17. and something about it just made sense to me. They updated the way that the zombies in the game think, and I loved the game already, so I was playing it and I was watching what the zombies do, and I was like, holy shit, I understand this. Like Neo seeing through the Matrix. Like he stops the bullets. I was like, holy shit, I get it. I'm bending the fucking spoon. I was like, this is great. So I was like, well, this is like, I understand this. I can make videos about how this works. I can share, like what you're saying, I can share what I know with other people, and I can experiment, I can figure things out, I can like problem solve, I can do this stuff. And that was how what's called Jawoodle Park, which is just a world I had in that game at that time, where I just built shit and figured it out. Just ran tests. I was just a scientist running tests all the time. And that was what got me the traction. I wasn't making playthroughs, I wasn't making let's plays. I was making, hey, let's break this game for our benefit. And that got some traction, which obviously brought all the negatives that any attention on the internet brings as well. It wasn't all sunshine and roses, but at that point, I'd been around long enough that I could take that negativity and I could use it as, weirdly, a silver lining, because every hate, I talked about this at the DreamHack panel I was on.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it.
Every hate comment you get is a sign that someone new is being exposed to your content. Your audience who love you already aren't going to tell you you're a fucking idiot. They're not going to tell you to get your face off the screen. They're not going to tell you to retire from YouTube or kill yourself or anything. So your captive audience who love you are going to be supportive. If you get comments coming through telling you they hate you, you know that that is a sign that that video is being shown to people who've never seen you before. So that is an opportunity for growth. So it's actually a really good sign to get hate comments.
Yeah, so if you're getting hate comments, people, so, you know, you've got your normal audience, say it's like 1,000, and, you know, they love you. But then if you get one person that comes in and said they don't like you, well, that's 1,001. That means it's been shown to perspectively, figuratively, a lot more other people that aren't your normal audience.
Well, it's kind of like the tip of the iceberg, but we're not sinking ships. So the tip, like that one person or 10 people saying awful, they shouldn't say things like that on the internet. First of all, like obviously we know that, but they're going to. So them saying these awful things is the tip of the iceberg. That underneath, 10 times that amount of people saw your video and maybe didn't like it or did like it, but they didn't say anything. So, but there's this whole massive new audience that these hate comments are alluding to. So it's very easy to be like, oh, I mean, it sucks. And sometimes you have a bad day and it really sucks. But if you look at it from an analytical point of view, from a YouTube analytics point of view, it's hinting at something good. You just need to be able to see it. That being said, if you want to clap people back and you want to ban them, do it. Like you can't save everyone. And that person who told you they hate you, they might come back, they might not. If you want to make a sure thing of it, and that's all it does. If you clap someone back, is you guarantee they will never come back to your channel again. It's best just to ignore them. But it's your house. Kick them out if you want. Who cares?
Yeah, it's very interesting hearing a bit more of your backstory in that first 4 years. And I guess that was your trial and error stage where you were just like learning everything and you were figuring out who you were and what kind of content creator you wanted to be. And interesting to hear like the progress that you made, like the little progress that you made, and then once you figured it out and you actually started like providing something of like to your audience and you're like really like passionate about it, that's when it started taking off. And as we know now, you've got 100,000 subscribers, and that's in the last 4 years. So you've like gone from like 1,500 to 100,000 in the like double amount of time. Like,
and there's been hiccups along the way. Like it's not a linear curve. There's spikes, there's troughs, there's all sorts of stuff along the way. It's very easy to take the spikes for granted and ride the troughs like they're never going to end. It's just, I mean, maybe it's just the way that I'm built, but man, I take the negative so much harder. I'll never let a positive thing affect me.
There is a bias. There is a cognitive bias for humans. There's a bit of loss aversion there, and people always because people don't want to lose something. They would rather lose. So, how does it go? People would get more upset about losing $5 than they would be happy about gaining $5. Because like the idea of loss is so much more. So like when you're in the troughs, in the downs, like you've effectively lost something. So you mourn that loss a lot more than you would see the gains. Then you're happy about the gains.
It takes an awfully long time. I'm still bad at it. I still have moments where the numbers go down. I'm just like, fuck, dude. I worked so hard on that. Like that thing that I did took hours of my life and it didn't work. And that sucks. And I still wear that so close to my chest. But as a whole, I'm much better now. Still learning, but much better now at seeing the bigger picture and understanding that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You take a step back from it and go, okay, well, okay, it didn't work, and you kind of ask yourself why it didn't work, and maybe look at it from a different lens.
Yeah, just I mean, it's all perspective, right? It's just like at the end of the day, a bad day for me now is still an incredibly good day for what I had not that long ago.
Yeah.
What's the lyric in that Paramore song? What is it? Okay. I found it. We're good. I'm not going to lie awake at night tonight.
I'll get a message on Discord. It was this. I was like, oh.
Yeah, dude, you would have got a phone call immediately. I would have shut up at your house and beaten the door down. Put this in the podcast. Where the podcast? The line is taken for granted almost everything that I would have died for just yesterday. And that is a fantastic, I said it very quickly, but very, very good point of little Josh 8 years ago making fucking AFL Evolution videos for 80 views would have fallen over himself for a bad video to only get 12,000.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten where I came from. It's just helpful to remind myself sometimes where I came from.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, on that note, if you could start all over again, what would you do differently?
Oh, you'd think I'd have a good answer for this. I don't know, purely because I'm in a daily struggle about whether I go back and delete all my videos pre 2021 because they're just not good. They're just not good. Yeah. But I don't do it because I feel like it would be dishonest lying about how I got here. I didn't start making content at the level I make it now.
Yep.
I started making garbage. Some would say my current content is garbage, and I'd probably agree. But it's like Oscar the Grouch as opposed to like an actual bin chicken infested dumpster. That's like, it's slightly better now, I hope. But going back, I had to learn. I had to go through that to be successful now. If I just plopped myself in now, I wouldn't have the background. I wouldn't have the mental strength to deal with the shit that comes with this. I wouldn't have the work ethic to deal with this. I wouldn't have the perspective. So I would fall over and fail at this because I didn't start where I started. The only thing I'd tell myself is to not waste 2 years playing trendy games.
All right.
Stop playing trendy games. Just don't do it. It's flooded. It's saturated. Do anything else, and you'll have more success, more enjoyment, and find a smaller community. It's all about size. You know what? Hey, we tell ourselves this in the mirror every morning. Size doesn't always matter. Sometimes smaller is better. Having a smaller community that's engaged and excited about what you do will always be better than 3 million people who know your name but never watch.
Yep.
So don't be afraid of this. If I was going to tell myself something, I'd be like, don't be afraid of starting smaller. Stop aiming so goddamn high and just focus on what you can what you can control. What can you control? The game you play and whatever you record on that particular day. That's it. Yeah. That's all you got. You can't control YouTube. You can't control the algorithm. You can't control what happens once you put that video out there. So just make a better video next time. Every day is going to be a new better video. And that's why actually I took a break when I did, other than the one day I missed for COVID. The only other time I've missed uploads was 2 weeks off to reset my content radar, really.
Yeah.
Because I just lost sight of what I was actually setting out to achieve. I wasn't making a better video today than I did yesterday. So I had to reset and start again. So if I told myself that 3 years earlier, I might have ended up somewhere different. But that said, I have no regrets. I have no regrets about how I got here.
Okay. So how do you feel? So like you mentioned algorithm just then. How do you feel the algorithm affects your content?
Oh, it's everything.
Yeah.
It's if I shit. So I was playing Fallout not long ago. And because I'd never played any Fallout game before, and Seven Days to Die is heavily based off. It's heavily based off Fallout, so I was like, oh, I should go play Fallout. So I started playing Fallout. Um, YouTube won't explicitly tell me stop playing other games, go back and play 7 days where you're supposed to be. They won't send me an email with those words,
Yeah.
but they will disincentivize anything else heavily. The drop rate is about 90% between a 7 days video and anything else.
Yeah.
You can kind of like dummy it up, because like the day one, the first video of something new will do pretty good. Day 2 and 3 and 4 will probably do pretty good, but then like by the 7th or 8th video, the viewership just isn't there.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, that was still getting 5,000 views, but then a 7 Days to Die video at the same time would get 12,000 views. And that's like at the end of a series of 7 days when the viewership's the lowest that's going to be.
Yeah.
So whenever I go and start something new, my expected, and this is across the board for a lot, it's kind of like the universal rate. The carryover is about 10%. So I should be expecting a viewership about 10% on something that isn't YouTube approved.
Or isn't like the normal content that the algorithm's expecting, or that your audience is expecting, essentially.
Yeah, well, even like, so not long ago, I was very fortunate enough to go up to Sydney to go to Ubisoft. I went and played the new Star Wars game early.
Yep.
At Ubisoft, I was one of the first people on the planet to play this game. It's a Star Wars game. It's huge. It's going to be sick. I still am super excited about it.
I've been playing it. I've really been enjoying it.
Dude, it's really good. People just need to fucking enjoy games for once in their lives and stop being so bloody pissy about stuff.
Oh man, it's getting a bit out of hand. But anyway,
stop being so negative. Just enjoy gaming.
Yeah.
But so I went to Sydney. I played this, and like everyone else is making kind of like review content, like a voiceover with some gameplay in the background. I'm the only dickhead who showed up, was like, sick, where's my microphone? Like, let's do it live. Here we go. So I was not only one of the first few people to play the game, I was going to have an honest gameplay experience, a let's play video on a new massive title with a lot of hype and a lot of controversy around it. I thought this couldn't miss. I was like, there is no way this doesn't go bananas. This could be a massive deal.
Yep.
So I put that video out. I'm looking at it here. The video the day before has 55,000 views. The video the day after has 43,000 views. That Star Wars video is now at 8,000 views.
Yeah. Wow.
So it doesn't matter that it's a hot property, a hot ticket item, the new hotness coming through, everything lined up. I put that video out. YouTube went, this isn't 7 days. Fuck you. And showed it to like 4 people. There are people.
The algorithm affects. I mean, the algorithm is everything, and it's basically YouTube trying to make sure the content is meeting the right audience. And I guess,
yeah, correct.
Everything that I know about the YouTube algorithm is that it uses channels as a way of knowing what the audience likes. And I guess if you try to steer too far away from what your audience would like, without having your audience won't engage with it, and YouTube will go, oh, okay,
yeah, pretty much,
and we won't show it to as many people. And I guess YouTube's kind of like that reward system where they're rewarding you for creating content that your audience likes, and it's a bit of a balancing act.
When you look at it objectively from a distance, it makes a lot of sense. YouTube exists to make money. YouTube exists to put ads in front of eyeballs, and I am the vehicle they use to do that. So they will look for content that has the most amount of watch time, that has people engaging, and they are always trying to tweak this to find the perfect mixture. They recently changed it. Now, I think this is a terrible change they've done, but everything new is scary. They brought in things like, how many people are clicking on your merch store link on your YouTube page.
Yeah, actually, I've noticed I get notifications from YouTube all the time. It's like, don't forget to link your merch store. And it's like, I don't have one.
Yeah, like they are actively, they've realized that people have diversified their incomes successfully, which, by the way, do not rely on one platform, because if you get deplatformed, you're fucked. So obviously, for me, I've got Twitch, I've got YouTube, I've got a separate merch store, and then Like, then there's like donations and things like that, but that's a bit separate. So YouTube Patreon is the other one I was thinking of. So YouTubers realized they're not getting a slice of these pies. So recently there's been a massive push to amalgamate all these different avenues under the YouTube umbrella, which is a fucking terrible idea. Like, absolutely not. I've been in meetings with them and they've been like, hey, we need, like, have you considered promoting YouTube memberships and all this stuff that you can do? And I'm like, no, because I get a better cut from Patreon. The people who go to Patreon get better rewards for supporting me through there. So I get more money of the money donated. They get a better reward, a better product. Why would I ever blow that shit up that's already doing fine just to be under the YouTube umbrella and give you control of even more of my life? Like, absolutely not. So that, like, things like that, like not playing their game hurts you. If you don't do what they want you to do, they will promote a creator who does, which makes total sense from their point of view. It sucks dicks from my point of view, but this is where you find where you draw the line on each decision that comes up, and you go with what feels right, because you can be a shill for YouTube. You can do exactly what they want all the time, and you'll probably find more success, but you still have to sleep at night. So,
I guess it comes down to like how your content is geared and what you're trying to do, and there's probably a lot of different dynamics that are all individualized to each creator too. So there's a lot of different aspects there to consider.
Yeah, it's you play the algorithm game as best as you can. There's no rules because we don't know the rules. When you get to a certain level, you can get a partner manager through YouTube. There's no sub count requirement for that. It's a case by case basis. They'll send you an email and open up applications, and you can apply. I've been fortunate enough to have one. So I now have a point of contact at YouTube who can give me kind of like pointers about what they're looking for. And like they're like, oh, what's your goal that you want to be pushing for? And I'm like, well, obviously like 100K or whatever. And I'm like, okay, well, here's what we think you should be doing to get there. And it's like,
they're
okay,
like,
so these,
play
like,
7 days a day.
yeah, pretty much. Well, actually, at the time, this is just after I'd just done charity stream, like my last charity stream, where we raised $46,000 for cancer research. It was a fucking ridiculous,
huge. That's great.
Stupid money. One of the proudest things I've ever done in my life. That and the previous charity stream, which, not to pat myself on the back, but $33,000 for Second Chance Animal Rescue, who I'm now a very proud ambassador for. So like I'm very privileged to do this. I wanted to use this to do some good, and I feel like we did that. But I had a meeting with YouTube the week after that second charity stream. So after numbers were ridiculous, or it's a 12-hour stream, all this stuff happened, and he goes, "Hey, that was really good. How would you feel about doing that once a month?" I'm like, you just don't understand why it was successful. You've just seen the spreadsheet of numbers and gone, do that again. You don't understand that it was successful because it was a rarity. Like there's a disconnect between what the algorithm and YouTube seems to want you to do, and what is actually sustainable for anything longer than a week. Yeah, they're not thinking about it. They're not looking out for you as a creator's best interests. They're looking out for YouTube's best interests, which is their job. Which is why it's your job to look out for your best interests and do the best you can each time something comes up. So when that came up, I was like, mate, I'm not doing it. Like, absolutely not. Are you joking? Like, here's all these other things you wanted me to do. I'll do this. I'll do this. I'm not doing that. I'll do that. I'll do this, and that's it. And you can either be pissy at me for it, or you can let me just do what I'm going to do. And sure, it may have meant that I hit 100K 3 years later than I would have if I played their game properly. Who knows where I could be now if I was just doing whatever YouTube wanted me to do. Yeah. But that ain't me. It has my face on it, my name on it. It's a representation of me and what I think I want to be doing. Yep. There's plenty of people who will do what they want, and that's fine.
Fair enough. All right. So on the analytics side, and I've had a few people ask me about this leading up to this. What do you think is the most important analytic? And before you answer, I actually put a poll out on Twitter to the creator dashboard, and the audience is quite small, but we got got a few people put their
Size doesn't matter, mate. Size doesn't matter.
Size doesn't matter. But we got some interesting interesting numbers. And so I'll tell you what I put in there. I'm just loading it up. How long ago did I post this? Here it is. Okay. So I asked everybody in the creator dashboard and who follow us on Twitter, what is the most important analytic on the YouTube dashboard? And I put in there click-through rate, views, watch time, subscribers. And the number one with a 69%
nice.
Was watch time.
Yeah.
Watch time. And then 23% of people said views and 7% people said click-through rate, and that 7% of people was me. I think I was the only person to vote for it. So what do you think from your experience? What do you think is the most important analytic in YouTube?
It's hard to say the most important because so many of them work hand in hand. You can't.
Yeah, they kind of work together. Right?
Yeah, having one good stat won't be good. If you have a really good click-through rate, but your watch time is 0, then YouTube knows that it's a clickbaity thumbnail. The video is not actually any good. It won't
it's not providing what it's saying it's going to provide. Yeah.
But if your click-through rate's garbage, but your watch time is really good, YouTube knows that you're not appealing to new eyeballs enough, so it also won't recommend you. So, I would think it's a combination of how do they phrase it? Not specifically watch time, but average view duration. So not how many hours have been watched on your video. Of the people who watch it, how long do they watch for on average? And that's represented as the percentage. So, for example, if you have a video where the average view duration is, say, 75%, that's really good. You can also get it expressed in minutes. I think that I was looking at was 21 minutes out of a 34-minute video. That's the average. Yep. So you can also find back-end data about when people click off and when there's highlights and stuff.
Yep.
So they all work hand in hand. But it's an interesting question because, like, why do you focus? Like, you shouldn't be focusing on what analytic is important because you can't target an analytic. Like, how do you make a video that's going to get higher watch time? You just make a better video. Like, like those things tell you how you're doing. They're not things to be focused
aiming
on.
towards. Yeah. I guess they're things that you could probably look at. Like, you post a video up, you can kind of look at how I can improve it. But I guess it's I always look at it from a flow-on effect. And the reason why I structured it that way is because that's how I was asked, and I think that's how people look at it.
Yeah.
But I look at it like, okay, it's like a funnel. You've got a funnel of things, and you want to tick all the things in the right order. So you've got impressions. Well, you can't really. Impressions is a tricky one because that's algorithm control. But click-through rate is something that you can kind of control with your title and your thumbnail. So you work on getting a good click-through rate and getting clicks, and then you deliver on the click, which is your watch time and your average, like your watch time. And it's a combination of the both that the YouTube goes, oh, okay, we like this video. And that's what makes the algorithm feed it to more impressions, and you have that flow. And the click-through rate will fluctuate and eventually balance out, in my experience.
I don't think it'll show me on the phone version of YouTube Studio, but that what you just described is literally a graph on the
there is a graph on the YouTube analytics.
It's a pyramid. Oh, it's a triangle. It's like impressions, click-through rate, watch time. Like that is the siphon that they go through.
Yeah.
So what was the one with 69? Was that watch time?
Watch time.
Yeah, I by a bee's dick, I reckon. Yeah, okay. Maybe that is the most important, but not by much.
So the reason why I said click-through rate is ultimately, if they're not clicking on the video, they're not. The watch time doesn't exist.
True.
Yeah.
True.
So you've got to and that's why it's got to be a combination of both. So the first thing is click through. Make sure people are clicking on the video, and then the algorithm will tell you if people like the video or not, because they're going to click away, and then the video won't do well. And so first you work on your thumbnails and your titles. Make sure those are good. This is just my thoughts.
Thumbnails are so important. So
very important. And then once you've got that down pat, provided your videos, well, I mean, you'll find out very shortly if your videos are doing well or not, because you'll get good click-through rates, and then it will plummet because YouTube's not showing it to anybody anymore. So I guess it's finding a balance between a good click-through rate and your watch times, and that's kind of what you're aiming towards. And I think that's kind of, and so that's why I think the click-through rate is actually more important, and then watch time is second.
Yeah. Okay. Again, they're so close. Like you can't have one without the other.
Well, then that's the thing. They both are important because that's what the
Yeah.
algorithm is looking at. But it's an interesting that I think there was only one vote for the click-through rate, and I thought, people don't put as much weight into it as they should, because thumbnails and titles are like.
Yeah, and there are very successful channels that have ass thumbnails with no that isn't the be all and end all. I don't know why. I guess people just see a certain style and go, "Oh, that must be that guy," and click on it anyway.
Yeah, they're just so used to it, like the trash
yeah.
thumbnails. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes that's just the style. That's just the character of the channel.
Yeah.
But that's what works for them. There's a million people out there who make trash thumbnails that never get clicked on. So it's hard to tell.
So have you ever dabbled in short form content?
Yes.
And how do you find it goes for you?
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate short. I hate it because I have a certain standard of content that I want to achieve, which means my 45-second short form content takes me 4 hours to make.
Feels.
Yeah. So short form content, I've had a lovely recent spike in traffic. I owe to short form content. 7 Days had a new update. I had an idea for short form content, like basically what I do in longer form videos. But hey, here's how to build this base in 45 seconds. Bang, 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 bang. No one talks as fast as I do. I'm perfect to get as much information out there as possible. So I started making these very short base build videos. We're very successful to the point now that that's become like a new trend in 7 Days content is these short form base build tutorials. So I guess that's the ultimate compliment when your idea starts becoming goes beyond you.
Yeah.
They'll claim that they know what I'm talking about, and that whatever.
Yeah.
As they do.
Yeah.
Give credit where credit's due. It's not hard. Anyway, I'm getting off of the tangent. So short form content has done a lot for me recently, but I've been making short form content for ages, and for nothing. Like they get 20 views, 30 views, a couple of hundred views maybe. Just because at some point a few of them worked doesn't mean they're going to work all the time. Pirate Software, Thor, was a massive, like, he was pushing, like, everyone should do YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are easy. You have to look at this instant growth you can get. And it's like, yeah, once you have an audience that's looking for it, YouTube Shorts are very easy. Trying to break into a new market when you don't have an existing audience is nigh on impossible. But Shorts are going to be your best avenue to get in front of as many eyeballs as possible. But the growth there is significantly less than long form content. The revenue is incredibly less than long form content. I had a short there that I got just shy of a million views at the moment. Paid me like $100. It's like
yeah.
Some people might be like, wow, fuck, I wish I could make $100 on a video. That compared to like a regular video is not much.
Yeah, and there's a lot of effort that still goes into your short form. As
well. It takes me more time to make a short video than it takes to make a long form video. Now, part of that is because I'm so well versed in making long form content. Now I have a very established routine that I can churn it through pretty quickly. But so for a short form base build, now I have like both. I have highlights from videos. I have dedicated scripted base build videos in shorts. So from scripting, recording the voiceover, figuring out the shots, recording the shots, building the base on video, going to editing, lining everything up, doing the annotations, getting all that done takes hours. Whereas a regular video, I'll sit down, press record, start recording for an hour, go to editing, edit that all together. I can maybe make a full video in maybe 3 hours for long form and like 4 hours for short form. So it's just...
Yeah, I guess in short form too, because there's a lot more niche edits having to go into it. Because like in my experience, I find the first like 30 seconds of a video, first minute of a video, that's where I put all my cuts in. And a short form video is that. So like I could do a long form video, but like if you condense it down, you're still doing the exact same amount of cuts and you're doing the exact same amount of fiddling stuff. Just in a long form, you've just the tail end doesn't have as much cuts in it because it's doesn't need it.
I definitely feel like short form is more reliant on editing than it's more sizzle than steak than long form is.
Yeah, well, you've got to be like snappy. You've got to be like attention grabbing. You got to like that's where all the action's going to be. So, and that's usually the first few seconds of a video, long form video.
Yeah. So like, I could make short form content. I could just sit down for a minute and faff through something and throw it together. And sure, but what? No one's going to watch that. And if they do watch it, no one's going to click through and watch my other stuff. Like, I need to put this is like a short form content is like a trailer. It's like a taste test of the rest of your content. It's the easiest way to get you in front of more people, but it has to be good, and it has to be a good representation of what your content is. There's not to go back to music again. There's a band called Magnolia Park that is a pop punk band from the States that I love ish. I say ish because I was first exposed to them through short form content, and they were pumping shorts like Instagram reels, TikToks, or whatever. It turned out to be the bridge of one of their songs, and for that song, that bridge is very, very different tonality in tonality from the rest of the song. So I was like, fuck yeah, this band's sick. I want to go check these guys out. I went and looked up this song. I had to go and double check it was the right song because it sounded nothing like what I was actually listening to. And then sure enough, eventually there was the bridge. And I was like, oh fuck, this is the bit. So I felt betrayed. I felt lied to.
Yeah.
Because this short content had shown me like this is what to expect. And then
I got clickbaited.
I got music clickbaited. I got e-baited. It's bullshit.
Oh, that's
so
great.
Even though I listen to them now and I quite enjoy some of their stuff, that is whenever someone mentions Magnolia Park to me, I'm really like, oh fuck them for lying to me about that song. Ugh, it's such bullshit.
So I got a question here from the community. Another question. So and this one's I thought it was a bit abstract, but would you recommend creating a separate YouTube channel for live streaming?
Yes and no. It depends on where you are on that scale. If you're just starting out, no. Any content is content at that point. For me now, I did actually I have a Jawoodle VODs YouTube channel that I haven't uploaded anything to yet because now there's all these like criteria you have to keep before you can upload longer videos, which my new channel doesn't have. So I haven't actually uploaded any VODs to it.
You've got to like do the security check before you can have thumbnails, and you've got to
So I made it with that intention, and it never actually followed through with it. If you have, it's like we were talking about before with like the algorithm stuff. If you have an established audience, if you have an established pattern that the algorithm wants you to do, going outside of that is always risky. So like I do it because I need that mental health break of playing something different sometimes, but I would be hesitant to make, if you have an established audience, I'd be hesitant to make your one channel the single repository for all things you. If you stream on YouTube, stream on your main channel, sure. I wouldn't be uploading daily Twitch streams to your main YouTube channel.
Yeah. Because you're going to spoil your audience. You're, like,
exactly.
They're not, so like, if they're used to, so I'm just going to use my channel, for example. I made Baldur's Gate content. And I was like playing Baldur's Gate, and my audiences love Baldur's Gate. And then all of a sudden, I'm putting my VODs from my YouTube or Twitch, where I play League of Legends, onto that channel. Everyone's gonna go, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. And then your established audience is now not clicking on your videos. What does that tell YouTube? YouTube goes, oh shit, these people don't want to watch his stuff anymore. We'll stop promoting. We'll stop recommending it. Yep. So you're giving YouTube the opportunity to decide that you're not relevant to your own audience anymore. Which
that's not good. Not good.
Why would you ever do that? Yeah. Making a new channel is free. If you have the chance to, absolutely go that route. It just depends on whether you're first starting and you're just trying to get as much engagement as possible and have everything in one place, or if you're more established, then probably separate it.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably merit in it. Depends on what you're doing. If you're doing two completely very different things and you've got the capacity to run two different channels, then probably worth doing two different channels.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole reason I stream on Twitch, because if I stream on YouTube and if I feel like playing Assassin's Creed that day, or Need for Speed, like who knows what, it's not my normal pigeonhole that YouTube has me in. So if I stream it on YouTube and the stream does shit, that affects my algorithm.
Yeah.
So I have a Twitch channel where I can play whatever the fuck I like, and YouTube can't have a say in it.
Yeah, because Twitch doesn't have an algorithm.
Well,
that we know about.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
All right. So, what's your number one tip for someone who's starting out?
Thumbnails.
Thumbnails.
Actually, wait. I'll rephrase your question to ask me.
Okay.
Ask me, what should I do if I'm starting YouTube right now?
What should you do if you're starting YouTube right now?
Don't do it. Do not become a YouTuber in 2024.
Why?
Okay, now that that's sink in, I'll tell you why. So, that answer has two effects. The first one is, if you're going to be doing this, you need to be able to handle rejection on face value immediately. If you're thinking I want to be a YouTuber and I've said don't do it, and you go, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't, not for you. You're going to be facing rejection every day that you do this. So if me saying no initially is enough to make you stumble, that's your first massive red flag that this isn't where you should be. It's not going to work out well for you. The other thing of that is that it's harder now to get into this than it's ever been ever before. So you need, like we were talking about at the very start, you need to have a reason. You need to have your why. See, I was listening. You need to have you need to be doing this with a reason in mind. It's not just, well, I want to be rich and famous, so I'll go be a YouTuber. Not the case. So you need to have a good reason in mind to go and do it. So if you're just like, I just want to be a YouTuber, don't do it. If you're like, I want to be a YouTuber because I want to do this, that's different.
Yeah.
So me saying don't is legitimate, but you need to have a good reason to go around the don't.
Yeah. Well, that's your first barrier that you're getting stumbled at. Then you know you got to find a stronger why. And I guess it's the thing, like having a good why will help, because you said that you really enjoyed content creation. You just wanted to do it because you just enjoyed the process, but you had to find the why. You had to find what it is, what it was that you actually wanted to make. And I guess there's a little bit of throwing mud at the wall. Like myself, I've done it. You go to my YouTube channel and it's gross with the amount of weird content that leaded up to my Baldur's Gate content.
But that was like, I understand. It's what people should expect.
Yeah. But that and so like you've got to experiment. But I guess don't be disheartened if you figure out it's not what you enjoy.
No,
and it's the same. So go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna. People need to stop thinking about YouTube as the guy in the bedroom. Anyone can do it. Think about YouTube as what it is. It is an entertainment creation platform. No one goes out and thinks, you know what? On a whim, I'm going to be Tom Cruise. No, you might think that you want to be an actor, but Tom Cruise is the very, very top of a very, very competitive field. You're not going to be Tom Cruise. I think a better way to approach this is, I want to be involved in content creation. Am I in front of the camera? Am I an editor? Am I a thumbnailer? There's so many jobs now that go into this that people can be professional editors. People can be professional thumbnail creators. Like, just because you want to be in the world of content creation doesn't mean you have to be a YouTuber. You don't have to be the person in front of the camera. Not everybody is cut out to do this. And that's just the reality of it. Not everyone has the skill set to do this. But there is a job out there in this world for anyone. They just have to find that job that suits them. Yep. So it's not, it shouldn't be approached like, it should be approached like a film set. You're not going to be the person in front of the camera. So what are you going to do? You're going to be the script writer. You're going to be the audio guy. You're going to be the editor. You're going to be, the lighting technician. What job in this sea of people who make content are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's a lot that you can do. And ultimately, if you do little bits of everything, you might even find yourself falling into the YouTuber space anyway, because you've learned how to make thumbnails really well and you want to teach people how to do it.
Yeah. Or you've been around people who are on-camera personalities and picked up what they're like, and at some point you got thrown in front of a camera and you didn't bomb. And they're like, okay, sick, let's do it again. There's a lot of people who started out working for a YouTube channel and then became an on-camera personality later. And like, they don't normally start as on-camera. It's rare for established channels anyway. But, you often see people who started out as an editor who became on camera or whatever. So there are routes to do it, but you need to be aware that it's no longer just do it and you will be successful. You need to be good.
You got to put the work in to
Yeah.
improve yourself. And I guess if you're watching this kind of content, if you're watching any of the stuff that helps people like vidIQ, I watched a lot of their stuff, and um, Nate's Black, fantastic. Those guys have wealth of knowledge in it. Any of this educational content, it's going to make it an impact, and you're going to grow from it. So like people doing this and making the first step. So on that same note, because we're all on a learning journey, what do you want to learn more about yourself?
Do I go the taking the piss answer or like the deep and honest answer? How deep into my psyche do I want to delve here? Learn about myself. Listen, I'd love to have a proper sleeping schedule. I'd love to be a normal human being who could wake up at a normal time before midday and go to bed at a reasonable hour. My work-life balance is better. It's not good. There are lots of things that I need to learn about me and how I work in the world of Jawoodle, because at the end of the day, Jawoodle is the name of the channel and the character that I am on camera. And it's kind of like, I mean, Jiri, you've known me for many years at this point. Jawoodle is just kind of like a cherry-picked version of Josh, just kind of like turned up to 10. There's nothing here that's dishonest. It's just suppressing some of the normal traits and exemplifying some of the more entertaining qualities. Unfortunately, I am just kind of like this, but
yep.
I think yeah, thanks. I think finding a way for Josh to exist in Jawoodle's world and vice versa, with a bit better balance, is probably my next big hurdle. Because at one point, one of my friends told me, he goes, "Oh, you're just Jawoodle now," and I was like, "Oh fuck!" No, I don't want to be that. I don't want to. Jawoodle is a version of Josh that did away with a lot of his previous insecurities. That was a really good thing. One of the big reasons I started doing this was because I was making something else, and I felt the urge to sing a song, and I'm not a good singer at all. I'm not a good singer.
That's why you play drums.
Thanks, mate. Oh, look at him chugging his water, sir. Oh, just better cool off and have a little drink after absolutely roasting me. Yes, Jury. That's why I play drums. No, so like I felt the urge to sing a song on camera, and I was with some other people, and I was like, well, if I do this, I'm gonna get ridiculed. And it was such a moment of like clarity of like, holy shit, like I'm terrified of what people around me are going to think of me. I need to figure that shit out. So that's kind of what led eventually to Jawoodle, where now I'll sing random shit on camera all the time because it pops in my head. I don't feel judged, so I feel fine to do it. So Jawoodle is just Josh with less of those insecurities, but it's meant that some of the more personable qualities of Josh kind of got whitewashed over a little bit. So I'm trying to now go back a little bit and find where I can be essentially two different people at the same time in various situations. Because it's difficult and it's not easy to try and manage that shit. And sometimes I'm the wrong person in the wrong place, but well, as you said, we're all learning. We'll get there.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll get there. Well, I like it. It's good. Well, I think that's a bit of a wrap, I think.
You don't have any zingers lined up for me anymore?
Nah.
You've got your one in, so you're like, no, going to cut the heels now?
I'm pretty happy with that. Get out before I get out. But it's been fantastic having you here tonight. It's been a really good chat, and you've got a wealth of knowledge there and lots of experience, and it's been fantastic, and I've really enjoyed our chat. And if anybody is watching this, you can find Jawoodle on YouTube. And on Twitch, but primarily on YouTube. Check him out. If you have gotten anything from this, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, Creator Dashboards. The more subscribers we get on here, the more people we can get in front of the camera, and we can learn from them. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
That's my
Thanks,
outro.
Jerry. Hey, how many subscribers do you need before you can hire a likable host? How does that happen?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably a few thousand, I'd say.
I feel the need to get you back now. I'm like, I gotta win.
I don't know if you're gonna be able to do it, but we'll get there eventually. Well, actually, one thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to double down on this commitment, is in a year's time, and this comes down to a bit of a complex in humans. That, like, you say something, you'll follow through with it. In a year's time, we're going to sit down and do a follow up of this podcast live in front of cameras.
Are you asking me this now when it's been filmed so you can throw it in my face later when I'm hard to get in touch with again? I'm not replying to messages.
No, but actually, yes. But also just more like, a commitment to myself and to the audience and to anyone watching this. In a year's time, we'll do this live.
Hey, listen, how about if your audience wants me to do that, they can put that in the comments down below. Because that is called
great.
Engagement farming. there you go. One last tip for the road.
All right. See you later, everybody.
See you later. Thank you.